Hi, I'm Yitzhak Berger. I teach Hebrew at Risha. Parashat Chukat contains several episodes where Bnei Yisrael approach the area that's settled by a particular nation in their trek through the wilderness, and they will invariably seek to go through that nation's territory peacefully. They encounter difficulty with many different peoples over the course of that trek. Interestingly, the description of some of these episodes is broken up by the story of the death of Aaron, the high priest. And naturally the question arises as to why. If one looks carefully, one sees that the first story actually immediately before the story of the death of Aaron, is one where Bnei Yisrael are approaching the territory of Edom, the descendants of Esau, the brother of Yaakov. And that story is introduced with Bnei Yisrael actually telling the Edomites through a messenger that your brother Israel wishes to pass through your territory peacefully. And yet the response of Edom is negative and threatening. However, seeing that Edom is Bnei Yisrael's brother, they do not confront them, and they turn around and go elsewhere. This is to be contrasted with what you find in the story immediately after the death of Aaron, when they approach a different nation that not only does not let them through, but comes out to confront them militarily. And in that case, the Bnei Yisrael respond militarily and defeat them. Why then is the story of Aaron in between? And if we recall what Aaron HaKohen represents, I think a very straightforward answer presents itself. Aaron we know as the one who excelled in brotherhood, the story of Moshe Rabbeinu having been chosen to be the leader of Bnei Yisrael, and God telling Moshe, you should know that when your brother Aaron greets you, he's going to be happy for you inside. He's not going to be jealous. He's going to be the paradigm of brotherhood. As the one who sets the standard for brotherhood, Aaron HaKohen had to have this kind of impact on the rest of Bnei Yisrael, and he did. As Chazal tell us, Aaron was an Ohev Shalom V'Rodev Shalom. As the high priest, he was the one best suited precisely because of this peaceful, brotherly personality that he had, and he was the one who loved peace and made peace among all of his brethren in Klal Yisrael. And so, when Klal Yisrael is confronted with a challenge precisely that has to do with brotherhood, they could have ended up in a confrontation with Edom, their brother. But the Torah regarded that to be inappropriate, and it was the message of Aaron that was necessary in order for Bnei Yisrael to confront that challenge and turn the other cheek when they were rebuffed and nearly confronted, threatened in fact, by Edom. At that point, Aaron dies. And why? The message of Aaron has been conveyed. Klal Yisrael has displayed brotherhood even when challenged. And yet, there's a danger involved. And that is that one who is an Ohev Shalom V'Rodev Shalom, one who loves peace, is not necessarily suited for everything. Moshe and Aaron were two different personalities serving two different roles. And there were times when Bnei Yisrael had to confront their enemies. The brotherhood was limited to their brothers and to others in appropriate circumstances. But when another nation, a genuine enemy, came out actively to fight them, the only response that they could do was to fight back and succeed as they did. The message of Aaron had been conveyed, but Bnei Yisrael were now on their own to balance that properly. That was not the role of Aaron, whose emphasis was on the shalom itself. And so the Torah structures these parshiot very carefully so that Bnei Yisrael's display of brotherhood to Edom and not confronting them as their brothers comes immediately before Aaron's death. Aaron, having conveyed his message, now leaves the scene. And now Bnei Yisrael are confronted with a challenge to do something that was very different from the message that Aaron conveyed, because it goes beyond it. It was necessary for them to, while possessing that capacity for shalom, to also be able to confront a challenge when it presented itself and engage in war, in milchama, when necessary. And so the totality of these parshiot convey that balance to us with the death of Aaron strategically told to us right in the middle. Shabbat Shalom.